Hey guys, this is RPGcaster. Firstly, if you notice my voice is a little bit different, I guess. That's probably because I just woke up and I'm not feeling very well, but I'm still dedicated to giving you this video, so let's see how good my commentary can be. Yeah. Starters, thanks to Aya for doing that little intro thingy for me, since I really am illiterate. No, that's not the term. Something like that. I'm not very good at using these editing softwares, but he is actually quite apt. So, as you saw before, this match will be between me and Aya, a Palemoon mirror match. The main reason we've been doing this is because I have had a lot of questions about Aya's new deck build for his Palemoons, as well as that I've built my own Palemoon deck. No, this isn't going to be like your regular mirror match. We're not using the same kind of Palemoon deck. Aya's using his standard Robert/Alice build that's been updated since Comic Styles in 5.0, but I'll be using the Mistress Hurricane build. Mistress Hurricane is a new card that came out. I'll talk a little bit more about her as the game progresses, but I just think it's a very viable deck strategy. Instead of using all those switching out cards, I've just focused on doing a lot of soul charging and using Mistress Hurricane to summon stuff out of soul. A very different deck style, but yeah. I know I'm probably going to get some questions about it, but the deck sleeves I'm using are from the point exchange thing. So if you got any points from your booster packs, you just have to use 2 of those at your local store and redeem that. And now we're going to get started. So Aya starts with Lark Pigeon. A lot of people thought that was weird, but his deck doesn't really need too much soul charging, especially his main is Robert, so he can benefit from that Lark Pigeon. Me, on the other hand, I need the soul charging, so there you see me soul charging 2 with the Skull Juggler and then just attacking. He'll trigger and I hit one of his tamers. And now it looks like we're going to be in for a very good game. He just rode his Crimson Beast Tamer. Usually your main worry with the Palemoon deck at the moment is if you're running the Tamers. If you don't get that Crimson Beast Tamer and Soul, that's like 7 or 8 of your units out of the game that aren't going to be as useful. And there he goes straight away, swapping the bunny for a trapeze, so he has a better supporter, which is probably a really smart move for later. I get the same thing, my Tamer out, and I pull out a Big League Bear. Big League Bear is one of the new cards that was released in set 5. When it goes from the Guardian Circle to the drop zone, it allows you to soul charge 2 cards. This is very good. There hasn't been any card that allows you to soul charge twice on its own effect. Obviously you have the Skull Juggler with the Vanguard starter, but that's 2 different effects going off, whereas Big League Bear soul charges 2 right off the bat, its own effect, and all it really needs to do is guard. So Aya is maybe going to try and take that out before I can use it to guard. We'll see what he does. So playing column with Alice and Midnight Bunny, hopefully trying to get out some of their abilities, switch them into soul. I guard that attack, of course. I'm not going to let him swap out his units to attack some more. And a very big attack, the Barking Manticore. Usually at this point I would have preferred to ride his Robert, but Barking Manticore is there as his soul stopper to stop himself from decking out because of Robert's ability, but I guess it also works as a alternate Vanguard, and to be honest, it really is good. I mean, he at the moment, since he's got Crimson in Soul, is going to be hitting for a good 22. And there he goes, he tries to hit my Big League Bear, and I end up getting the Big League Bear effect off from hand instead. So now my soul is a lot larger than his, but my deck focuses more on that. And there we go, Mistress Hurricane's ability is when she gets ridden as the Vanguard, I can counterblast 2 and call any unit from soul to the rear guard circle. Any Palemoon unit, sorry. I really like this card. I mean, sure, it only goes off once, but it allows you to swap a grade 3 in hand for literally anything in soul. Pulling out your turquoise, which I just did, gets you a very potent supporter. There's just so many options, and the thing is, Hurricane can actually fill up your field a lot and helps remedy Palemoon's, I guess, if you're getting a lot of bad hands with the Palemoon deck, it can remedy that problem as well. And it's just like a really good card. Most would disagree with me and say that the old build is a lot better, but I think Mistress Hurricane build can stand on its own. Let's just see how it goes. Pulls out another Crimson. He's going to be swinging for 18. Probably going to go for my Big League Bear. I'm not dumb enough to drop 2 cards from hand to protect an 8,000 power unit. It is not that important. Let's see whether he does it though. And yep, he is hesitating, but he'll probably go for it. Yep. And he is going to go with my Vanguard, being the only target that there is. Another ability of Mistress Hurricane that would be interesting to note while he's taking his turn here, and I have nothing to talk about really, is that Mistress Hurricane, when she has 8 soul, she gains a 1000 power boost. That is static, so she essentially becomes the 11k Vanguard of Palemoons. A lot of people don't like this because unlike Dark Irregular, which focuses on hoarding soul, it's actually quite difficult to get to that 8 soul mark, even though I'm running so many soul charging powers. And there I go, getting the Hurricane off again. But basically, the Mistress Hurricane's ability, I see a lot of people think it's a crap card because you cannot really get off that 11k power most of the time. However, the point is, you have to kind of see it as a bonus rather than a deck focus. If you see it like that, and you see Mistress Hurricane's other ability, the Counterblast ability, as the main focus of the deck, you can actually start to see a lot of potential in this deck build. And since the deck is so good at hoarding so much soul, it is also a deck that excels when it comes to the Golden Beast Tamer being used, which we'll probably see later. Yep, there it is, Drive Trigger checked as I mentioned it. The Golden Beast Tamer is now in hand and ready to use. So in terms of field advantage here, I have the upper hand. That is just what Hurricane is good at doing. And I would probably say Aya is at a massive disadvantage simply because he didn't get his ideal Vanguard, in which case I actually did. So he calls out his Crimson Beast Tamer, going in for beats. He's got more field. He's going to try and take out my attackers, which happens to be the advantage I've got over him. And swinging with that big Vanguard is really actually tiresome for me. He gets his Robert, not sure if he's going to ride it, and then he's going to attack with the Jumping Jill supported by Midnight Bunny, probably to try and get another attack in. I'm not sure if he has a Trapeze in Soul. I don't remember. If he did, he would have been able to use its effect. And Trapeze is probably one of the better Palemoon cards out there. It allows you to swap out a card as soon as it comes out. And that ability in itself just allows a lot of potential combos with Alice and Midnight Bunny and even Mirror Demon, even though I don't think Aya is using it, or if he is, he's not using many of them. So the Hurricane attacks. There's a Trapeze again, as I was talking about it, and I also get a Hurricane. I only run one Trapeze in my deck. I was running the Madcap Marionette. I switched to Trapeze because essentially Madcap Marionette is like a bad version of Trapeze. It sends a card from your hand to your soul and basically allows you to soul charge that Crimson Beast Tamer. But what I realized was that Purple Trapeze actually allows you to do that. All you have to do is play the Crimson Beast Tamer on the field and then play Trapeze. Send the Crimson Beast Tamer in, pull something else out. The Trapeze is a better choice if that was the purpose for the card, simply because Trapeze gives you an additional unit in exchange for the Crimson that you're trying to put into Soul. So you don't lose advantage like you would with Madcap Marionette. Sure, there are clones in other clans, which we'll probably see in other videos, like the Nightmare Painter, that puts stuff in Soul for Shadow Paladins, or Dream Painter, which puts stuff in Soul for Paladins, but they are a lot better because, well, let's face it, those decks will get the advantage back. The Phantom Blaster Overlord with the 13k will conserve guards. You'll get that advantage back. so let's see what I'm going to do. Yep, I ride the Golden Beast Tamer. First effect allows me to call a Chimera. The reason why I play Golden Beast Tamer in this deck is because Mistress Hurricane is a Chimera, to my disbelief. I did not believe it at first when someone told me, but she is. So yes, Mistress Hurricane can be called out. With that ability, which is very good. Additionally, Mistress Hurricane's ability to call other stuff out. I'm hoping you can kind of see what is happening here. Basically, what it allows me to do is change my, every time I ride a grade 3, pull out another unit, and that helps fill my field. And the thing with Hurricane is I can pull out a grade 1 as well. It doesn't have to be an offensive unit. The Golden Beast Tamer, it does. Golden Beast Tamer also adds a 3000 power boost to the rear guard front row Palemoons, which I'm making use of here. Swinging for 21 with the Hurricane and the Bicorn. Unfortunately, the Vanguard I don't believe gets that ability, but having the 2 side guards swing for 21 on their own, it's pretty good. And if you have the Turquoise and the Crimson Beast Tamer in one column, it also allows you to swing for 23. 23 being a very good number now because of the 13k Vanguards such as Vanderblast or Overlord. So he gets the stand trigger. Oh no, he guards with the stand trigger, what am I saying? And intercepts with the Jill. That puts me in a bad position because I'd already kind of been on the ropes for a while. Although I like the Hurricane build a lot better, I won't doubt that the swapping abilities of the, I guess, older Palemoon build are still very, very powerful. Here I am desperately trying to guard, and if he gets any sort of critical trigger, then my chances are gone. I am kind of hoping on the heal trigger at this point, which I don't get. And that's the end of the game. A lot of things to look at with this game. Palemoon mirror match. Aya being the more experienced one since that is his main deck. But I think it really shows that the Hurricane build hopefully is a viable option. I hope you guys can see that, although I did lose. Yeah, they're different deck builds. They have different focuses for different clans, and that's just something you have to look at, I guess. Hope you enjoyed this match, and hopefully I can bring you another video soon. This is RPGcaster, signing off.